Stick that out the onion. Squeeze.
We're back into our Six Nations preparation bubble, back at the Lensbury. Arrived here on Sunday after being at St George's for 4 or 5 days, and we're back into test match preparation. We want to give something back to the community. It's obviously difficult at the moment, and so we've been able to do some Zoom calls with various community areas.
First of all, thanks guys for having me. It's a privilege to speak to all you guys. And yeah, no, we're enjoying it. We're pretty privileged at the minute to be here doing what we are doing. We're pretty lucky that the tournament's going ahead and we can
A couple of weeks ago, I did one of the primary schools around near Frimley Park, and it's been great for the players to do it over the last couple of days.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very much, Max.
Bye-bye.
Here we go.
Coach, let's go through the arse. Fine. 6, 2, 3, squeeze. Ready, and bang! Go.
The thing I love about our props is they're so diverse. Yeah, loose heads and tight heads have always been traditionally a little bit different. Tight heads traditionally were more introverted and loose heads more extroverted, but with our group of players it's a little bit different.
Here at England, we have some very fruity individuals, especially in the front row, and amongst the props, we all have different aliases. Why not do some music, you know, like the beat off Reservoir Dogs? First off, you've got Harry Williams, the conspiracist, sits in his room with tin foil on his head and a magnet in his mouth. And then you've got Tom West, the foodie, aka Westy. Apparently he's related to John West, the owner of the tuna company. Eddie calls him sardines, I don't know why. And then you've got Benno, aka Benz, aka Cinny, the musical one. Used to be a rap artist out of South London, now he's a pirate from Bath. Eddie calls him that because he had a gold earring and wore a bandana once. I thought it was because he had a wooden leg.
It's not actually that inventive or that crazy.
Then you've got Will Stewart, aka Stewie. Used to have a sick mullet like me. Supposedly his uncle's Orville the Duck. And then you've got Mako, the experienced one. Apparently he's seen more action than a Pierce Brosnan movie trailer. And then you've got Sinks, the loud one, aka Kitchen, aka Daddy.
Even when my mum's been watching some of my games, and obviously because there's no crowd and you hear like Nathan and Benny L and the rest of the boys at Bristol like saying, "Come on daddy," and stuff like that, she's like, what the hell?
And then you've got me, Genji, the brains behind the organisation. Handsome, best gamer, best rig, best chat, fastest, strongest, smells the best, best cook, best lid. Are we still recording?
Happy there, has there? Yeah, lovely. Let's go. Crouch. Fine. 6, 2, 3, yes! Chase, goes! Ready, and bang! Go! Keep going! Nice! Get yourselves ready! Crouch! Fine! 6, 2, 3, squeeze! Ready, and bang!
I just think it's important in all walks of life, really. You don't want everyone to be, you know, it just would be dull if everyone was the exact same. And I just think, for one reason or another, I couldn't really tell you, the front row seems to probably invite more individuals to it as opposed to other positions within the team.
My theory like comes back to the idea that like the props that we see now are probably bigger than everyone else when they were a child. And when you're bigger, like your interactions with people are just a little bit different. So like whether people are like scared of you, so you have to be like sort of demure to like get along with people, or you were so big and aggressive and people used to try and get at you for being big and aggressive, so then you're big and aggressive still as you get older. It's like odd that like there's such a group of us that are just a little bit different to everyone else.
My experience in coaching front row is you need to empower their natural personalities to come out. The more you can free up their personalities, the more they can perform as who they are, and you harness their strengths rather than trying to get them to fit a particular mold. You know, the world tends to think of a prop as being this beer drinking, you know, jovial character, but a lot of them, you know, are quite deep thinkers. A lot of them are, you know, really focused on a lot of other aspects in life. When they need to play in the front row and scrum against the opposition, you know, it's man against man. So if that character, if he's not, you know, confident in his character, you know, that's going to show out in front desk.
Let's go! Fine! 6, 2, 3,
You've always got to be right on the edge. You've always got to get them on the edge emotionally, mentally, physically. You've got to get them on the edge to perform and be ready to train. So I think that switch of when they are off, they can be off and they can relax a bit and laugh and be with each other. And that's where that the history of the Front Row Club gets together, is they know what they've got to go through to get ready. So when it's time to get boots on again, they switch on, and you can see them taking this metamorphosis that it's, that it's on. It's time to work now. And always the old analogy of the game. The scoreboard told one story, but the props in the bar, they looked at each other, and there they knew who won that battle. So there's a little internal war between the two front rows in the field, and I suppose it's still the position that can still share a camaraderie.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Seconds.
The biggest thing I've learned from them is how in tune they are to making each other better. There's a continual growth within the group that whenever we scrum, whenever we do something, they continue challenging each other. Did you think about this bind? If this prop scrums in at this angle, we need to do this. And if they're trying to do this, how are we going to counter that?
Simon Bergman or Zander Ferguson or whatever, they're always going to get the 50-50s because it's your first game. So just be patient. But then when you go, make it look clear as day. Sort of like that one, it's clear as day. So even if he tries to drop it, it's like, well...
You've clearly gone forward, yeah. I think I have to wait for my target a bit more, basically.
Yeah, but just be patient.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in a rush, do you know what I mean? Like, you want to build momentum into the game. You want to get a couple of strums in and then go, not the first one.
I like to bring energy to the group, but positive energy, and it's something that I've consciously had to work on throughout my career. Probably when in my younger days, it was probably a bit too much, and probably, if I'm being honest, became a distraction to the group. Whereas now I try to pride myself on my communication, especially in defence and attack, isolating defenders or talking out to the defensive line on what options they have.
Yes! Yes!
Like, at the end of the day, it's pretty hard, Rugby's a tough sport, and if you don't have that energy and that buy-in with the boys, and if everyone's dead silent, not that it ever would be, but if we're not communicating on the field, then it's just going to be a long, hard day.
Out the back, don't look though, Papali, don't look. Oh, later.
No, not for you. Maybe fold your arms as well, but twist in through to the O2.
It's a massive weekend for everybody at the Rugby Football Union and the players. So to commemorate this day of 150 years since the first game of rugby for England v Scotland, Umbro have made an incredible range which we're going to wear on Saturday. So as you can see, the rose is very unique, and this is inspired by the first game in 1871. It's going to be the same for the long-sleeved and short-sleeved matchday jersey, very retro in its design and feel. This rose here is the same rose that is on the first cap when a player plays for their country for that very first time.
So the guys are going to finish the game. Luke, Benno. Well done, mate.
Today I found out I was in the 23 for the game against Scotland. I got a message from Charlotte saying to go meet Eddie. I usually have PTSD from those sort of messages because this is the first time he said you're in the 23, so that was kind of nice. And yeah, it's just exciting for me, really. Like, I think it's weird, like, because obviously anytime you get to represent your country in whatever you do, it's going to be a privilege and it's going to be exciting. So to do it for the first time, it's like that plus 10, I think. So it's kind of sick, yeah.
I compare you well enough. Did I? So my apologies. So let's forget the game. Remember the feeling though. Remember the feeling you got? And let's get on with Italy next week.
I think we've got to grab hold of it as players, boys. I think we've got to make stuff happen. So, as I said, get together tonight, but this week we make it happen. So whether it's meeting off the field and organising our own stuff to make sure we're in the right place, because we'll have plenty to learn from that. We've got to make it happen ourselves. It's got to light a fire now, eh? No point moping about after that. Light a fire and we won't make it happen.